I'm Maddie.
I'm Amber.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot.
We are the weirdos in this one.
Like a song, like a sailor snubble. Flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble. Sam.
Wow.
Hey everybody, I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot. And today we are talking about the magic of dreams, or the magic associated with dreams. Perhaps magic you can do in your dreams. I don't know. Definitely stay for a spell, and we're going to talk about it.
I have to mention this because, I am trying to think how to dive into this because it's just it's a pretty intense topic. So I guess we can start with astral projection happens a lot in our sleep. And often people think that that's them dreaming, or was I dreaming, or did I astral project?
Right, yeah, because I astral project in my sleep a lot. And when I become aware of what's going on, I have this falling sensation because it's me coming back into me, you know what I mean? And it took me a while to realize that's what that was. But it would be nice to use lucid dreaming to better control that. I
have done that. That's where I was gonna dive into. But on the topic of astral projection, or I guess that's its own topic. That's its own episode.
We did an episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Did we do?
We did.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I don't even remember.
Yeah. We
was that
talked about
season
it.
1
or 2?
Season
yeah,
1
1 or 2.
We're on season 4.
Yes. Yeah.
But like you mentioned, lucid dreaming. I have started doing that recently. But it's only when I feel like I'm under spiritual attack in my dreams. So if I feel like I'm under spiritual attack in my dreams, I will be aware of what's happening, and then I am able to stop and create my own, for lack of the better word, force field type thing around ball of energy light. I am able to send energy out of my palms at the attacking thing. It's not just while it's attacking. I have cast circles in my dreams and have known that it's a dream while casting the circle. It's really insane to me because casting a circle in this plane versus casting a circle in your dreams is totally different, because in your dreams you're on a different plane. So whereas you can see, I'm trying to think, it's not like you can actually see it, but it's
in your dream, you can actually see it, whereas on this plane, you see it in your mind.
Yes, exactly.
But in your dream, you are in your mind.
You are in your mind. You are on that other plane. So, you can actually see, physically, the energy. Yeah. I can physically see the energy leaving my phone, as I'm protecting myself. Whereas on this plane, when we're awake, we usually feel the energy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm not saying it's impossible to see it, but it's usually seen. Or when you rub your hands together and then you slowly pull them apart, and you can feel that energy between. When I'm doing magic in my dreams, I can see the energy.
Right. Yeah. So it's got, you're in that space where you're able to visualize and be a part of the visualization, because it's that part of you that's in the visualization. And everybody has the ability to lucid dream. There's different methods. One method for lucid dreaming that I get, because that is when I have some of the most vivid dreams, is you've been asleep for 4 to 6 hours, then you get up for a little while, then you go back to sleep. Now, for the process of lucid dreaming, you actively, after you wake up, you actively choose that when you go back to sleep, you're going to be lucid dreaming, you're going to be fully aware and capable of interacting in your dream, right? I sometimes wake up after being asleep for about 4 hours in, a decent amount of pain, and I'm up for a little while before I can go back to sleep. And when I do go back to sleep, I have my most prophetic dreams in that time. frame. So I get where the lucid dreaming thing comes from, because I have prophetic dreams where I dream about things that are going to happen and I see them happening. And I'm like, oh shit, I remember this because I had a dream about it. And like, some of it's been kind of some unpleasant stuff. But anyway, it's during that time that I have my most, like, I'm more likely to have prophetic dreams during that time frame. Or I guess like the percentage of prophetic dreams that I've had is higher during that time than my regular in bed at night sleeping, right? And so I get like, I guess there's something about that, having been asleep for a while, like being, it actually, they said, like, in one of the things I read said, like, being asleep for a little while like that, it like lets your body know about certain things that, or like lets your body do certain things. So then the next time you hit the REM stage, it can be like very vivid dreaming, which is why that part, or that way of doing lucid dreaming, is like preferable to a lot of people. There's another way of doing lucid dreaming where you just kind of like, before you go to sleep, you're telling yourself that you're going to go to sleep and this is what's going to happen, and that you're going to be aware that you're dreaming and able to like interact in the dream, which I think is really cool. I've never done that, but it sounds like really cool.
So I don't remember where I read this, and it may have been told to me by my mentor. I'm not sure. But I've tried to do it, didn't work out for me, but it may work out for you. And one of the things is to put something in your line of vision. So you're laying down. Let's say you're laying down, you're facing your nightstand, okay? Put something on your nightstand. It can be a burning candle, don't recommend. It can be
An LED candle?
An LED candle, something like that. And you watch it, and you watch it, and you watch it. So I actually have done this. I did this while laying on the floor by my fireplace when I lived in a house with a fireplace, and you watch the fire and you listen to the fire, and then you fade into the fire subconsciously, and then you wake up and you're dreaming. And it's a very beautiful way to kind of slip into that lucid dream.
Yes, that is one of the ways I read about for lucid dreaming. I've never put much energy into lucid dreaming. Like, so like the world of lucid dreaming itself, it is mostly familiar to me from the standpoint of reading about it. And that was one of the ways that people do it.
Well, you can do it with any element.
But like, you know, when you bring in that whole visualization piece of something here in the real world, it makes me think of that American Dad episode where Steve's like, the red ball, I'm dreaming.
Oh yeah.
And he like kills that girl.
Oh god.
You like so Klaus and Haley are pissed at Steve.
Oh yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. They're like vacation or
no, they're at home. Maybe the parents are on vacation. I don't know.
No, are they sleeping? Like because Steve or put them not Steve.
No, not that one. Not
you know
that
what I'm
one. No,
talking
yeah,
about.
the vacation goon. No, this is earlier than that. Like Steve has taught himself to lucid dream by when he sees the red ball, he knows that he is dreaming. And Haley and Klaus learn about this, and they're mad at him about something. So they start throwing a red ball, and he's like, "Oh, I'm dreaming." So then he's asking the girl out at school, and blah 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 blah. And then he decides to jump out the window at school because he thinks he's lucid dreaming. Like he's in his underwear and he jumps out the window.
Oh shit! I know what you're talking
about.
I know what
the
you're
girl
talking about.
follows him and dies.
Oh my god! Yeah, no, I remember.
That's so funny. Sorry, like that's what I always think about when I think of lucid dreaming. Not why I haven't tried. It's just funny. It's just a funny pop culture reference to lucid dreaming because that is also a way. Like that's truly a way. Like you can train yourself.
You can do any element. Now that I think about it, because like you know how they have those little tiny water fountains that you can put on your Zen fountains you can put on your nightstand, and you can turn it on, and it's like little bubbling water on a Buddha. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, no, I'm sitting here going, maybe I lucid dreamed at the river, because at the river, when you go to sleep, it's just the sound of the river.
Right.
There's just the sound of the river. It's the lapping water. It's endless, right? And it's beautiful and it's wonderful. but you'll be sleeping and the lapping water's in your sleep too. And I was dreaming, and I knew I was dreaming, that I was walking around the river's edge because that was the lapping water was like in my dream, and I knew I was dreaming, so it was like whatever. I wasn't scared to walk around at night. I guess that's technically lucid dreaming because you're aware and you're doing things, right?
Right.
So like that's technically, but for me, I always think of lucid dreaming as having more control, which is the idea, because you can use lucid dreaming to work through personal traumas and or to improve yourself. It also helps improve problem solving skills. So when you think about it from a magical perspective, lucid dreaming can help you with your visualization. It can also help you with your manipulation of energy, because in that dream state, in that plane, you're manipulating what's going on. And from a magical perspective, because like I'm trying to think of the things that magically correspond with dreams. If you're not somebody who thinks of dreams themselves as a magical thing, which I was trying not to do that, because I think when I suggested the episode, I was kind of thinking of dreams themselves are magic. And I was like, I'm trying not to do that. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, another way that dreams are magic, or magic can happen within dreams, is people are often visited by family members who have passed, as well as deities. And whether or not you want to label them deities, maybe fourth dimensional creatures, not necessarily aliens, but could be aliens, could be the Fae, could be.
Because we're the most vulnerable for sleep.
Yes.
It could also be negative entities, which is why it's good to put protection practices into place when you're going to bed, like crystals or satchels of herbs under your pillow. Because like literally, we're the most vulnerable when we sleep. And not only can good things come through, not to be that negative naysayer, like, negative Nelly or anything. It's just, I deal with spiritual attack while I'm asleep a lot. And I know that sounds crazy, but I've sent Maddie the pictures of the injuries that I get. Although you can get injuries during sleep paralysis. And I'm like, should we do an entire episode about sleep paralysis? Or do you think it falls
Please. I think
this?
so.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because
I
I have experienced it personally, and I've had to deal with sleep paralysis hallucinations, and it's god awful.
It is. So yeah, okay. We just won't even talk about that. We'll make that a whole other episode for Dark December.
I've been recently visited by an entity. I guess that's the best word to call it, a fourth dimensional creature, in my dreams, but not while I'm sleeping. Do you think daydreaming can have something to do with?
Well, and one thing that I did read about lucid dreaming is that it's like wakeful lucid dreaming or something. You're not actually sleeping. And like, I kind of do that all the time. And that is when I have some of the most contact with entities getting me messages.
Right. And I guess I shouldn't say it was like
right.
And like for me, it wasn't like I was just staring into space daydreaming. Like I'm taking a shower, I'm washing my hair, my eyes are closed. You know what I mean? Like it seems like in that state, in the shower specifically, when I'm like washing my hair, I've got my eyes
closed. That is
and I'm
active meditation.
Okay.
You're meditating while you do it.
Okay. So that's not dreaming, or would you consider
I don't consider that dreaming or daydreaming, because like it's a meditative state. So do you consider meditation itself dreaming? Which I personally don't.
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah, like,
I mean, but I could see how it's on the same plane, though. Like,
I mean, yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
yeah, I get you. Because like what I was referring to is definitely like I'm laying in a half awake state where I'm fully conscious and literally kind of like opening myself up purposefully for messages. It's one of the ways I help myself get to sleep, actually. And it's really cool. But go further into that. But like I do the shower thing all the time. Sorry.
No problem.
I do the shower thing all the time, and that's like one of my ways of meditating.
Right, and it's like I get the most, or not. Look, guys, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've got 2 toddlers and a newborn. I get most of my spiritual meditation done while I'm showering.
Yeah,
right?
no, I get
that's
that.
the time that I have.
Yeah, no, I'm super busy, and that's when I can like not be super, because like if I'm like daydreaming, meditating while I'm driving, that's fucking dangerous.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
exactly, yeah.
Because like Jonathan used to come to me all the time while I'd be driving, and I'd be like, "Oh boy, you're freaking me out, please." And he would just change the song, and I'd be like, "That's not funny, but it's kind of funny. I get what you're saying." But anyway, like in the shower, I get a lot of visitations from spirits, like because I remember one time being like, "This is very inappropriate of you to talk to me while I'm in the shower." And I guess they don't probably see nakedness in any way anymore now that he's dead.
Some of them do. I feel like some of them are.
It was my
creepers.
little brother-in-law. Okay, let's talk later. I cannot right now.
I have to say, like, what the fuck was I gonna say? I'm sorry. It was so important, or it was part of it. It was, oh, dreaming about lost loved ones. It's
Yes.
so bittersweet.
Well, and
I-
I mean, do you think of it as dreaming about or having a visitation?
Having a
from?
visitation from
Yes.
while you're sleeping. So it
Yes.
seems like I would classify it dream magic.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I just wasn't sure if you meant like, because there's a difference between dreaming about somebody you lost and them actually coming to visit you, you know?
It's so bittersweet. It really is. I've had a couple dreams about my late uncle who unfortunately passed away in a extremely horrific car accident. I think I've told you. It's why I have car anxiety. And some of them you can remember, some of them you can't, you know, like some of them you just know they were there. I remember one dream particularly where this was recently after he passed away. I think it was within the past month. He showed up, and I just remember hugging him and saying, I miss you so much. But it was like every time he spoke, I couldn't hear what he was saying. Or I probably could hear what he was saying because we had a full-fledged conversation, but it's like I couldn't hear the conversation. But I think I could at the time. I think.
Right. It's you can recall the conversation, and maybe there's a reason for that.
Maybe there's a reason, but you know, I have do this thing where I dream, and this has happened twice now, that I have dreamed that somebody dies in my family before they die. But it's not always that specific person. Let me explain. I had a dream that one of my cousins died, and they were surrounded by a huge party. It was my great grandmother and her grandmother and her mother and everybody that I had lost. And they were celebrating. It was a huge party. Yay, we're so happy. We're so happy. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. And I remember being sad that they had to go with them, but being happy that I was invited to the party. And I woke up and I wrote down the dream in one of my journals. And I'm so thankful I did because 4 p.m. that day, I get a phone call. My cousin Jenny passed away. And if I had not written down the dream and dated it, like, I wouldn't even have believed it myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Like-
having prophetic dreams is crazy because when you dream about something and then it happens, it seems completely unreal. I mean,
It does.
like I literally dreamed about a creature's death and like what they saw when their death happened. And then it happened.
I know exactly.
I know. I'm trying not to go into detail because I'm trying not to cry about that one because it's like so traumatic for me. But like that was the first prophetic dream that I knew that I had. Like I don't know if I've had prophetic dreams before that one, but like that one. Anyway, and it's just like it's crazy when you realize like you saw that in a dream. And like now that I do so many live tarot reading events, like I dream about the people I'm going to do readings for. And I do, yes, half the time I do a reading for them in my dream about like, it's really cool because they'll walk up to me and I'll be like, hey, it's you again. would you like another reading? And they're like, I've never seen you before in my life.
They're like, okay, Madam Zeroni.
So this past Halloween at the Monsters Ball, I think I told you about it, but like this girl and her husband and her friend walked up. It was the one that had Lydia that took the picture of me.
Okay.
And they walked up and I knew her and the husband. I didn't know the friend's face, but I knew her and the husband. And I was like, oh, well, hey guys, do you want another reading? I remember giving you a reading before. And they were like, no, you haven't. Like, we've never seen you before. And I was like, well, I've seen you. So it must have been in a dream because I have dreams about the people that I'm going to do readings for. And they were like, she was like, oh, how spooky witchy on Halloween. Oh, I love it, you know. And then like I gave her her reading first. And she was like, this is fucking spooky accurate. And the whole time her husband's just watching because he knows how accurate the reading is, right? And he's like jaw dropped, like watching this play out. And she's just like, oh my God. And then she explained it to me and I was like, oh, well, yeah, okay. So, you know, yeah, like that makes a lot of sense. Whatever. So then we move on to the friend who is Lydia Dietz and has taken my Polaroid several times at this point. And I'm all like hoping I'm getting one, but I had to ask for it, but that's okay. It's fine. And then I do Lydia's reading and they're like, oh my God, that's so fucking spooky accurate. And then the husband's like, oh, I can't wait to see how spooky accurate mine is. And I was like, that is intimidating. I don't like that. It's too much hype to live up to. And then I give him his reading and he's like, oh my God, that's spooky accurate. And I was like, okay, cool. Thank God the cards were on fire because we had a pep talk. Because the first time I used my last unicorn cards at an event, they were like, after 3 readings, they were done. And I was like, no, that's not how this works. And then I had to switch out because they were dead. They were like, fuck it. They were like, bullshit. This is bullshit. This isn't what we signed up for. And I was like, yes, it was. So then before that reading, I had given them like this whole pep talk about like, look, you're about to get fucking used tonight, but I'll clean you. Like, I'll give you a cleansing like every couple of readings, you know, it'll be good. And then it was. So like go through the whole evening, amazing readings. I channeled this lady's dead son at the very beginning of the night and made my fucking self cry. It was horrible for me because like, that was hard. Like, because I'm giving her the message and she's like, yeah, that is my son. He is no longer with us. And I'm like, ah! Anyway, yeah, because she came up and she's like, can you see who's around me? And I was like, that is not my gift, ma'am. I'm sorry. Like, I might be able to feel them. Like, they might be able to, like, they might say something to me. But, like, my gift is not to see them right off the bat. There are certain, like, entities that I can see. And I don't know what that's about. And it's been amping up. But, like, that was not something I was, you know, whatever. And I was like, I don't know. You know, like, we'll see if there's a message. Whatever. But, like, yeah, then that was rough. But the end of the night, that whole trio, they bring their fucking parents over for
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
And the hype was so big, I was terrified.
I bet.
Yeah, I've been doing readings for hours at that point, and back to back for the past 2 hours. And then she was like, "Oh my God, that's spooky accurate." That woman did a better job. I don't know, but she followed me on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
She's so nice. She's so nice. She's like, "You look so great in this picture."
That's
And
awesome.
she's like, that was the best reading I ever had. I was just like, thanks. That's super cool.
I do love that. That's
Yeah. So anyway, like I had dreamed about them before. Like we'd had a whole thing in my dream. Anyway, and like that's been happening for the past couple of years. But my prophetic dreams are like amping up too, because I keep having dreams about shit that happens. And then we've had prophetic dreams where we had the same dream on the same night at least twice.
I really
And our listeners don't know about that.
I really want to get a dream journal.
I
don't want anybody
this
to
has
find
inspired me
my dream journal. That's the only thing. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like my husband would like LOL at me a couple times. I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Well, and my thing is, my husband's such a light sleeper. Like, I can't wake up at 2 a.m. and turn on the light and write in a dream journal.
Oh, you could.
Well, I think, but it'll wake him. It would be a very unpleasant rest of the night.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, so I feel like before we tell our listeners about our joint dreams, what else do we want to talk about with dream magic? Can you think of anything for this episode?
I can't think of anything. I think we've touched a lot.
Yeah, we've touched a lot of it because I wanted to talk on the astral projection, lucid dreaming, prophetic dreams,
Deity or entities coming to you in a
visitations.
dream.
Yes. I had mostly thought of dead relatives, but also deities and yes, because again, we're most vulnerable and we're very close to the boundary or travel through the boundary as we're dreaming.
Sleep
which
is
what
the
makes it so
closest
easy.
we get to death
Right.
while living.
True, absolutely. I mean, and it's like usually a gateway to death, honestly.
It is. The heart slows, the breathing slows.
Yeah, usually you go into
That's
a
why-
sleep before you.
When you're locked in a room or locked in a vault or something, if you see in pop culture or they say
The cask of Amontillado.
go to sleep, because when you're sleeping, well, then you take up less oxygen and somewhat. I mean, yes.
Not the cask of Amontillado, my bad. We've
Oh,
gone
no,
different
no.
places with that.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
different places.
Totally
But yeah.
Yeah. But so we've had two separate dreams that were this, like we both had the dream. The first one, like so they weren't the exact
Are you talking about that one?
where we did the tarot.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
party.
Oh, okay.
Everything
Yes,
was in
yes,
choral
okay.
tones, and there was a lot of people we didn't know, and that was like that was just a couple weeks before we did that tarot event for that woman's birthday party, and it was practical magic themed, and everything was in fall colors.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yes, it was, and it was very much.
I
like
wanted to
a
be
dream.
their friend. Like, I still have her on my Facebook. I still see her on my Facebook. Invite me to the next one, y'all. I was pregnant that time. I couldn't even enjoy it.
Oh, I know.
You know?
And I was driving, so I also couldn't. That was like the third time I called dear.
He was like, "Can I get in the hot tub too?"
Like
I'm almost
if
asked.
I knew them at all, I would have been much more comfortable.
It's very
They
open.
were.
Very
They
open.
said
I
they
felt
could.
so invited.
Yeah, I know.
You
They
know
were
what
so
I mean?
lovely, and it was such a good time.
But you're right. I remember that. But the one that really sticks out to me is the one where we were both in a house, and it was like a couple. Was it a? For me, it was like a couples retreat.
Yeah.
But was it?
Oh, that's right. Actually, we've had more than three, but I was thinking of the other two.
There was somebody singing, or for me, they were like playing a guitar or something, and they were outside, and it was like, for me, it was like a couples retreat. It was like a huge house, and there were multiple couples in the house, and it was just
for me it was like a 70s key party, but minus the weird sex. Like
exactly the husband. Like for me in my dream, the wives or the girls went into the other room, and the men went to the other room, and we were just talking. And they were. It was weird.
And in mine, like I, if I remember correctly, people were like drinking to excess and partying.
Yeah.
Games were being played. Lots of food. I was trying to like keep the peace in some kind of situation, and like keep this dude from drinking himself silly. I don't quite remember.
This is where a dream journal would come in handy. Truthfully, because I remember it being such an intense dream, and we had almost the same dream, but slightly different.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was also a couple fighting in my dream anyway, and we were trying to like chill that out. It was weird. There was a guy in a wheelchair.
Yes, and there was a guy that was like incapacitated that I was dealing with that like couldn't walk on his own.
Oh, it was
weird.
It was weird.
And see, I was thinking about the time where we both had the dream about the
snow. That was the one that
Yes.
popped up into my head too, was the snow. And I remember walking in the blizzard and it was just so, oh, I got goosebumps. It was
Yeah.
just snowing so.
And we both had dreams where like our friends were present, like
Yes,
the same
the
mutual
same
friend.
friend.
Yes.
Yes.
And like the snow came in and it was like it was like we were in the same
In a
building with
field.
different vantage
Yes.
points. Because like there were trees out here and the snow came down and
And it was
there
like,
was like mountains or something in the background.
it was weird because like in my dream, I was in the house with mutual friend and then I walked out. And as I walked out, it started snowing. But instead of going back, I just stayed in the snow as it was like, oh, it was.
And I think like I remember like opening a big thing, almost like I'm in a barn or something.
Yes,
you know?
and the barn was in front of me, but I didn't
Yes.
make it to the barn.
Yeah.
Well,
It was like,
snowing.
yeah. So like there's true magic in dreams, guys.
Really?
So when I said like I tried not to address this from the standpoint of like, oh, dreams themselves are magic, but they really are. Because I mean, what are the chances? Like somebody, if you're some kind of math freak and you can figure out the chances of this, feel free to send them. But what are the chances that on more than 3 occasions, because this has happened on more than 3 occasions, we've had the same dream, sometimes with the same people,
Right. That
same
was the
color
weird part.
schemes.
Yeah, that was the weird part.
Yeah. And without talking about like the things that led to the dream, other than the snowstorm one, because we live in the same area, so the snow was coming to us. But we had the dream about the snow before the snow came.
Right.
So it's not even like the news had us thinking about it.
Right. That was weird.
So yeah, it was like we dreamed about the snow coming and then it did.
I'm looking at your little Christmas thing. I'm like, God, you do need an Aldi.
Yeah, I do. Aldi.
The little fae, they'll be so happy. They're like, you want to get eating?
All natural food.
Yes,
No diets. All these guys, all these is making the prices for Thanksgiving foods like what it was like 20 years ago or something.
Yeah,
In the
you best,
90s,
you
some
best
shit like
hurry
that.
the fuck up because when
Yeah.
I was in Aldi's yesterday, this bitch had 2 turkeys. Like they're gonna
Yeah.
be going quick.
And there's
Like-
a limit too, but you can buy 2 and then leave and come back the next day and buy 2 more.
Limit 2 of the eggs because the eggs are on sale too. I told my husband, holy shit, because I'm having a Friendsgiving with my friend Sadie from high school.
Hey.
I got shit I gotta get. Oh my
Yep.
God, I gotta get stuff for green bean casserole. Like I've really gotta do this. And I gotta do it soon because
I literally like, I guess I've been so stressed financially that not that I would be dumb enough to waste my vote. Like I haven't been that stressed financially. Like don't misunderstand that anyway. But I've been so stressed financially that I cried actually when I saw that Aldi's was lowering their prices. I literally cried tears of joy
Yeah.
because I was like, wow, what a relief.
I mean, this season's rough.
And I just mean like I wouldn't vote for the T word that won just because of the grocery. Like some people apparently like
I get you.
a former friend said, I voted for groceries because one of our mutual friends who used to be best friends with this person, they said, what about my marriage? She was like, I don't care, I just want cheaper groceries.
That makes
So when I say I've been financially strapped, do not misunderstand what that means. I would never. Sorry, but I just didn't like the way that came out, and I know some people are justifying it that way, and I just need everyone that listens to know I would never. I'm not telling you what, but I would never. Sorry, I'm not trying to make it political. I just didn't want anybody to be like, "Oh, Amber's one of those suburban women." No, I'm not. That never.
No, I get you. I
Never.
get
Don't misunderstand.
you.
Whew, sorry. I just don't want to be misunderstood there. But yeah,
Did you see the blue bracelet?
I did.
Yeah.
With friendship bracelets. I did. But anyway, yeah.
But Aldi is
Aldi's
they're
amazing.
great. They're really great. I gotta go back and I do have to get my Thanksgiving stuff.
Mhm.
Tomorrow's my grocery shopping for the weekday, so I guess I'll have to get it that
Yeah.
much fucking
I try to break it up as much as possible. We need to make our menu so I can do that. So now I know what my plans with Corey are for tonight while we watch TV.
the menu for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So it's so close to Roz's birthday. Are you doing traditional Thanksgiving since it's the
Next-
day after?
Next year, it's on her birthday. We're going to have to do traditional.
Uh-huh.
So probably not this year.
So what are you thinking? Because I know last Christmas you did some fucking, was it seafood?
We had like lobster, and crab,
Yes.
and goddamn seafood fest. Amber can't eat meat, guys. But so I don't know.
You
It
did
probably won't be.
catfish.
Oh
No.
I don't. Ever since that catfish when I was pregnant with Wally, never.
No.
I have not eaten catfish since I was pregnant with Wally. Like I've tried his twice,
Mhm.
and it's still. I'm just like, nope, still not over that. I like when I was pregnant with my youngest kid, guys, I had like the smell thing was my biggest thing. And if I smelled something and it made me nauseous, oh, it was so bad. I didn't even drink coffee. Like I know you're not supposed to, but I always did anyway. But like the coffee made me nauseous. Corey had to start like not having coffee at home. I couldn't handle it. So,
Oh, that fucking sucks.
yeah, and he made this Cajun catfish, and now I can't do Cajun seasoning, and I can't do catfish anymore because like I went like the whole apartment smelled like catfish, and it was horrible. I just couldn't. But anyway, shop at Aldi, they're the best, and also the whole sidetrack to Aldi, so that anybody with a Christmas village knows you can get an Aldi for your Christmas village. So that was the whole aside there to Aldi guys.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, but also tryptophan helps you sleep, so you'll have good dreams after those large family gatherings.
And I think that's a good way to end this episode. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I can't believe where we're at with our subscribers. Holy crap.
Absolutely, and if you're just not just a podcast listener, but if you're just listening on a regular podcast app, definitely like and subscribe so you can be notified about all of our new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.
Let's end if you want a spiffy shouty. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Victoria.
Melissa.
Death by DVD.
You can support us on Patreon on patreon.com/witchestalking/witchestalkingtarot. If you can follow us on Threads, Facebook, and Instagram at Witches Talking Tarot.
And you can find us on the X at Classiest Witches because we are the classiest witches you know. So thank you for coming to sit with us for a spell.
Yes.
And dream a little dream. I like. I'm going to have to get a dream journal.
I need to.